If you've been thinking about homeschooling and are interested in this thing called unschooling, I hope this video will be helpful for you. Hi guys, I'm Chantel and I blog over at Intentional Homeschooling, and today I wanted to talk about unschooling. Now, we started homeschooling, we're going into our 5th year now, I think. And before that I was a teacher, and over the years we've just slowly become more and more unschoolers. I tried it, I think in our 1st or 2nd year homeschooling. I wrote a blog post about, trying unschooling, and I really enjoyed it. But I was hooked on the fear that I wasn't doing enough. And that is the biggest thing with unschooling. I feel like people just are scared they're not doing enough. And it's taken me years, and even though I have an education background where I know, and I knew this for years, school is not the best place to learn. I have seen so many kids that are struggling, that are falling through the cracks. I've seen kids, get pushed from kindergarten to grade 1 that only know 2 letters of the alphabet. I have seen smart kids who are done their work that just want to read a book, but they're not allowed to read a book, so they have to sit quietly. I have seen the school system. And yet it's still hard to think that you can educate your kids without following a curriculum or checking all the boxes. And it has taken me years, and I feel like even now sometimes I kind of slip into those old habits because it's ingrained in you as you go through school. This is how it's supposed to look. But I feel like this year we have finally, or at least I finally feel secure in our unschooling journey. Now, if you've watched any of our day in the life videos or any of our recent videos, you'll notice we do have a bit of a schedule. I sat down with my kids earlier, a few weeks ago at the beginning of the school year here, and we set some goals. I asked some questions on things they were interested in, things they wanted to get better at, things that they struggled with that they wanted to improve, things that they loved that they wanted to do more of. And from there, we set some goals together. So just because you unschool doesn't mean you can't set goals. It's for myself. Unschooling is how I teach myself. And I still have goals and, business plans and all sorts of things. But the big thing with unschooling, I think, is that as a parent, we are here to facilitate learning for our kids. We're here to provide resources. We're not here to sit down and tell them all the answers to everything. We're here to teach them how to learn and how to love learning. So in the next few weeks, I am going to be doing double videos here. So normally I've been posting 1 video a week, but I'm going to increase it to 2 videos a week because I want to share unschooling, how we unschool every single subject. So I'm going to take English, I'm going to take math, I'm going to take science, and all the other subjects. And I'm going to tell you how we do it, and some of our favorite resources as well. I have kind of a addiction might be the best word, to buying books. So we have a lot of different books on different topics. And so I'm going to be sharing that in the next few weeks. But today I just wanted to talk about unschooling, kind of our role as a parent, and kind of just relieve some of this pressure to follow a curriculum. As a homeschool parent, really my goal for my kids, for their education, for their time at home, is not for them to leave the house with a list of things that they know, a list of answers and a list of knowledge. My goal is not for what they know, but for who they are. I want them to love God. I want them to love others. And I want them to treat others the way they want to be treated. My church, their motto is actually love Jesus, love others, and help others love Jesus. And I feel like that is completely my job as a parent. So the first thing I focus on is, in our home, we focus on how we treat other people in our home. If you can learn to get along with people in your house that are completely different than you, which my kids, if you've seen what they look like, they are as different in their looks as they are in their personality. I don't know 2 good kids that could be more different. I've got a strong introvert, I've got a strong extrovert. I've got one who prefers to I can't even list all the ways that they are different. They're so different, and yet they get along so well. Most of the time, there's definitely arguing, but they spend so much of their day playing together and just being creative together that I don't think they would have those kind of relationships that strong bond and friendship if they were in school. Actually, I know they wouldn't, because my introvert would come home exhausted and just want time alone, and they would have no sibling relationship. And so if I can get them to, be able to get along and work together as different as they are, then I feel like they are going to be so prepared when they're out in the real world and there are people out there that are different than them. If they can learn to not snap at their sibling and respond with a kind word, then they're going to be able to do that in the real world. So that's like my first goal, is relationships and getting along with others. Second, I want them to know how to learn. So for this, I see my role as like a resource provider, and I kind of like spread a feast. I get lots of books from the library. I buy lots of books. We have tons of games and resources, and you don't have to buy all these things in order to do this well. You can borrow them, you can make them, you can do anything like that. It doesn't necessarily take a ton of money, but I want them to have options. I want them to be able to dive into topics that they're interested in, topics they didn't know they were interested in, and be able to learn that way. I feel like if kids can have a bunch of resources and learn how to learn that way, then you can learn anything as you get older. Anything that we miss in our homeschool, they will be able to catch up on. I know that is a big thought for parents, is like, what if I forget to teach something, or what if we miss this thing? There have been studies that you can teach I don't remember the exact numbers now, but like you can teach grade 1 through grade 6 math in the matter of hours, a few weeks. I don't remember what it was, but like a really short time frame. The problem is we generally tend to teach things to kids too young, so we have to repeat it over and over and over again. But when kids are older and their brains are more ready for this information, and a big key, when they're actually interested in the topic, they will learn it much quicker. So let's say my kid doesn't know any division and they're in grade 8. But in grade 8, suddenly they have a reason that they need to know how to divide something. They are going to be able to learn it like so much faster than they would have in 3rd grade. I find that for myself now. I struggled with math in school, and I think part of it I blame on the fact that my piano lesson, every week I missed one math class because my piano lesson was over that time, because we had in school piano lessons. So every week I missed one lesson, and then by the next day I totally didn't know what was going on, because math so often builds off of each other. I struggled with math so much, but when I went to university I did well because it was something I was interested in learning. It was something I knew I needed to get into the program that I wanted to get into, and so I was able to learn the stuff even though I couldn't when I was in high school. So my goal is for my kids to be able to get along well and treat each other with respect, to be able to learn and enjoy the learning process. And from there, we just like fill in the cracks with everyday life and learning. We learn in every situation. I think the benefit for me for unschooling is now we don't sit down and do school and, between 9 and 12, that's when we learn, and then we're done for the day. We see learning opportunities everywhere. And anytime the kids ask a question, instead of like telling them the answer, we're generally like, well, how can we figure this out? And we work together with them. And I know like it can be easy to say this, and if you've never unschooled or homeschooled, it can be hard to like know what that looks like in real life. So that's why over the next few weeks, I'm going to break it down subject by subject and take you through every subject and show you how my kids learn it and the different resources we use, what we love, what we haven't loved. And I hope this will be helpful for anyone that is either looking to start homeschooling this year or looking to unschool. Now, unschooling, I just want to give a disclaimer, because there are like levels of unschooling. I think there's the radical unschoolers that on the one spectrum that like don't set any limits for their kids. They let them eat whatever they want. They let them like go to bed whenever they want. They just like set the rules. That's not where I'm at on this scale, I guess. I still expect my kids to help out around the house, and so they have some chores. We've sat down, we've set goals for them, so I expect them to like work towards their goals. I'm not letting them have complete free reign, but I'm letting them learn about things they're interested in. I'm letting them discover new interests and passions, and I'm providing lots of resources for them, as well as lots of time throughout the day just for creative play, imaginative play, and that's been working really well for our family. So I hope this series will help you.